Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm joined by a very special guest, Justin Wilkins. Justin, thank you for coming onto the channel.
No, thanks for having me.
It's not a problem at all. I did a video with Justin, we were just saying 6 months ago, maybe longer. It feels like it's flown by. It's been quite a while since we last spoke, and it was over Zoom. This is the first time that we've actually been in person hanging out, so it's cool to actually connect a bit more, and just thought we'd jump on and film something. So
definitely.
Just to remind people, because I've got new viewers since our last video. Not everyone may have seen the video. I'll put a little link at the end of this video to our previous conversation, so you can go back and watch that if you're interested. But to remind people, or to let people know where we were last time we spoke, could you just give us a recap? Where were you at? Where were things up to with you? Yeah,
so I mean, I still consider myself a new buy-to-let investor, but I was definitely very new then. I'd bought one buy-to-let, I think, back then and that was in 2019. But that was just ticking along, and then I was just getting into doing a couple other deals. In 2020, I sat on my hands a little bit, just trying to gauge what was going on in the market. In hindsight, probably should have jumped in, more and sooner and got more deals underway, but you live and you learn. Whereas now, things have progressed a bit. Again, still want to increase and scale a bit quicker eventually, but I've managed to secure another buy-to-let, which is currently being refurbished. And I've also secured a home stroke flip. The intention is a flip, but it's not going to be on a quick time scale. We're going to be in there just over a year. But yeah, that's going well. So that's a bungalow, and doing an extension as well as a full refurb on that. So
what's it like living in a house?
It's
during the renovation process.
It's savage, honestly. It's not. I thought it was going to be so much easier than it is, and I've done up. We did our flat up previously, but this is like another kettle of fish, because trying to live and move room to room whilst you're ripping walls apart, and plaster. Yeah, I mean, currently sleeping and living in the sitting room as we speak. So that's not the most glamorous lifestyle.
Yeah. But it's going to pay off in the long run.
Yeah.
You got a lot of money in that with a lot of profit. I've watched the video on that. So you had a buy-to-let when we last spoke. You've now got your second one, and you've got flip that you've got.
Yep.
And you sold the flat that you were living in.
Sold the flat.
Did you make money on the flat, or was it more just a case of relocating?
I mean, it was to relocate. We did make money on it, but it was part through doing it up, part through equity, and then part through mortgage payments whilst we were there. But if you collate those three, then I think we were just over 30,000. It was about 30 or 35,000, which wasn't bad considering that was never the intention. It was just to buy and have a home. But
so those people say properties, how people become accidental millionaires. It's true though, isn't it? You can buy something and without you doing anything to it, it goes up in value. So that's good.
I hope that's true.
So the buy-to-let that you've got, the one that you had when we last chatted, how's that gone? Things going well? You're happy with it? Is it making money?
Yeah, just ticking over. Lucky enough still to have the same tenants that from when I first rented it. We had a couple of bits of maintenance come up in 2020, but I mean, there's no wood to touch wood. It's been fine the last few months, and they pay. They seem fine. I think rents have gone up in the area, and I haven't increased the rent. And I figure, a bit of loyalty goes both ways,
Yeah.
So
cool. And then the one that you've got on the go, that's in the middle of being refurbed, right?
Yeah.
And you invest in Liverpool, live in Brighton.
Yeah.
So how's that been managing? Because obviously you've got the flip that you're living in, but that's very different because you're hands-on. You're literally there every day.
Yeah.
How's it been doing a renovation from such a distance? Because a lot of people have reservations about, do I invest so far up north when I'm so far away? I can't go and see it every other day. And how's that been?
It has been stress, and I've got a build team looking after it. Whilst I'm doing individual trades at home, I'm like, right, I'm not going to manage individual trades from 270 miles away. I want a team overseeing it, because that gets rid of any gaps or crossovers, because hopefully they're just on top of the whole job. Inevitably there has been delays. I'm not fully happy with what's going on, but I'm sure the builder's very on it now, and he's going to hopefully help me get this across the finish line, and then we can get it rented, get it refinanced. But yeah, it's been stressful. It's like a lot of learning curves in it, and then the bungalow, it's the other side of it. I am getting hands-on. I'm learning things. I'm also working with trades and finding that there's some brilliant ones out there, but there's also some difficult ones out there. So, it's stressful doing more than one at a time.
Yeah. But what do you think the biggest challenge then in the last, however long it's been? If it's been 6 months, then 6 months. Since we last spoke, what do you think the biggest challenge you've had? Because for you, the goal is scale up a property portfolio.
Yeah.
It's quite simple. There's a lot more to it than that, obviously. But the emphasis is you want to build up a portfolio of houses. What's been the biggest challenge that you faced with that so far?
Right now, the market being so hot, and viewings. So like when you do live away from your investment area, you have to make an arrangement to go up for 2 days, for example, like I am up here now. If this was a dedicated trip for viewings, I'd be trying to do 10 each day, and I'd be trying to really hammer it. But when you're in a hot property market, and you're lucky if the property hasn't even sold by the time you call the agent, let alone try and book it in and then get there before it's sold, it's just a nightmare. I've been trying to do direct to vendor, but again, I have seen success on that with buy-to-let number 2, but it's just been, again, a bit of a nightmare. And that's the thing, I think when it comes to scaling, if you're buying in your investment area and it's very nearby, it's much easier if you're because you can get down the road. If something comes up today, you can go and view it tomorrow, or this afternoon, whatever you say. That side of things I've really noticed, but apart from that, everything else seems to be fine.
The market's difficult at the minute. It's such a hot market at the moment. I sourcing to my investors, I go off market purely because at the moment I actually find it easier. Like, I actually prefer going direct to vendor. 1, because it's easy to negotiate. 2, I find it easy to find, because on the market stuff, you've got 40 people viewing it at the same time as you, and loads of them are happy to pay way above the asking price. It's a hard market to be in property. A lot of people think it's very good. If you've got property and you own it, then it's a great time. It's a great time to be in property. But to be getting into it and buying is hard. It can be really difficult. So, in terms of the buy-to-let that you've got, you said that was through a direct-to-vendor.
Yes.
So talk me through how you did that, how it went. What was the process of that then?
Yeah, so buy-to-let 2 was direct-to-vendor, and you're going to think I'm jammy, because I was like, right, I'm going to try direct-to-vendor. I hear it a lot online. I see people doing it. Can I do it? I'll give it a go. So I went down the route of, instead of sending out thousands of letters, I was going to be more direct, specific, find their details online, send them a personalised letter. And I sent out 2 letters, and 1 came back. No way. And he wasn't, and he was realistic as well. It wasn't as if 1 came back and he wanted, incredibly high price. So he called at the end of a week. It was like a Friday or a Saturday. The Sunday I drove up and I viewed it, drove back on the same day, and then made him an offer on the Monday. I said to him, whatever happens, I'll make you an offer within 24 hours and we'll take it from there. Negotiated a little bit, but I think, got it. I don't know what its true value, maybe it would have been 70 or 65 at the lowest, but I secured it at 50 because it's in a bad state.
Nice.
Should be 80 at least, if not 85 when done.
Yeah, so. Nice. Yeah. So and how much you spend on the refurb?
The initial figures were done off 15, so admittedly I'm going to go over that. So it'll be about 16 and a half, which isn't ideal, but yeah. But
you've got you getting about 20 grand of uplift.
Yeah. I should.
All your costs.
I think after everything, and if the refinance goes well, should leave in 10 or just over 10, which I'm okay with right now.
Genuinely, at the minute, I think there's a big buzz around no money down, or not no money down, sorry, leaving no money in.
Yeah.
Finding a deal, buying a house, doing it up. remortgaging it and being like pulling all your cash out. In the current market, that is hard. Like for me personally, I think if you leave 10 grand in, it's a winner.
Yeah.
It's a really good deal. It's a difficult market to pull all your money out.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, as we were saying off camera earlier a little bit, like almost some of the best deals are like ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, there's just as much value in that right now. If I was, you know, right now I'm not looking as much as I have been, you know, but when I'm looking right now, I'm considering everything. I'm not just looking BRR and it needs to be a full refurb. I'll look at something ready to go if the price is right.
Yeah, especially on the market, because I find that a house that is done up could be 100 grand, and then a house that isn't done up is 95. So for me, exactly as you say, if I was looking to just build up a portfolio fast and scale quickly, I actually wouldn't bother with buy, refurb, refinance at this point.
Yeah.
I'd probably just stick my money into some straight buy-to-lets, because you're going to be paying a similar amount anyway, unless you're incredible at negotiating.
Yeah.
Then for me personally, exactly as I say, like I'd probably just plant it into some ready-to-go turnkey buy-to-lets.
Yeah.
Is there any plans for different strategies or expanding into anything outside of flips and single let properties?
Probably not at the moment, until I've cracked them a bit more, until I've, you know, got better at them. Maybe I will do more flips than I'd anticipated. You know, when we spoke, I remember thinking, maybe Jack should, you know, instead of flipping it, he should keep it. Whereas now I'm actually, my mindset's changed so much. I'm like, I really admire the fact that you've gone, right, I'm going to buy houses, I'm going to renovate and flip them, because then I build my capital rather than trading that capital for a small amount of income. So I would like to do flips to build up capital, and then that capital gets redeployed over time into buy-to-let. So I want to try and do both at the same time, and therefore it doesn't make sense for me to be trying too many other strategies, you know. Just nail those two and see how we go.
Yeah, a lot of people panic about capital gains tax or corporation tax when you sell a property. And yes, you are subject to taxes, but in terms of building up capital, if you're not in a position where you can buy and renovate 3, 4, 5 houses at a time, personally, I would, and if you're serious about scaling big, I would just look to buy and sell, source deals, and just like build up that pot of cash, like you say, until you can do a lot at a time, and that's when you can scale fast. Like the initial building up that pot of cash is the long slog, but then after that you can scale so much quicker. Yeah,
and I think that's where I've had to open my mind, and maybe people watching this might, because the initial thought, what I always had was, is you get the money and then you buy to let, but every time you're doing that, you're kind of taking yourself to ground zero again.
Yeah.
So you need to do something, whether it doesn't even, you know, might not even be sourcing or flipping, but you need to do something. It could be another business to build that cash pot, continue feeding money in. Otherwise, you'll just keep resetting yourself, won't you? So
multiple streams of income.
That's it. Yeah,
genuinely.
Yeah,
it's what it's about. Okay, final question then. Often when being in property, being in anything, the biggest lessons are when it's been difficult or when things have not quite gone to plan. You said that you've managing the refurb at home. You've learned a lot because you got very hands-on. You've managed from a distance, and there's been challenges with that. What are the biggest lessons if somebody's looking to invest and manage a refurb, whether it's close to home or like at a distance? What are your biggest tips for managing those refurbs?
It's learn. For one of the things for me was to learn the process of a refurb inside out, which is very hard to do because no one's necessarily doing a huge amount of content on that.
No one talks about it.
And so then when you tell someone to do that from a standstill, it's a very difficult thing to suggest. But yeah, they should learn that process, whether it's doing it or learning it online. But for me, learning it by doing has been so valuable, because then I see how a room is stripped apart. I see then how it's rebuilt, the stages of, you know, the plumbing, the electrics, you know, everything. And that's so valuable. And almost for anyone watching this, if they wanted specific advice, if you can find a way of either working very closely with a builder or actually getting a bit hands-on. You know, it's not the ideal for everyone, but if you can get a bit hands-on, you completely change the way you look at, oh, this is how difficult something is, or this is how much materials cost, this is how much time it takes. And the reason I've done that on this flip, and I won't be doing it much more, is just because I wanted to go, right, I have an understanding of what that tradesperson does and doesn't enjoy. So then when I get a call off my builder from my northern refurb that I'm completely hands off with, I know what questions to ask. I know how long that job should have taken him and what he should have done by now. And just to have an overall understanding, you know, I think if you genuinely are in property and love property, then do everything you can to learn about it and constantly be a student of property, isn't it? So
yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this video, Justin. It's been good to chat and catch up, see what maybe we should just do this every 6 months and
definitely
watch each other,
see how we progress,
grow and scale. But thank you so much for jumping on. Where can people find you if they want to, because you're all over the internet, where can people find you? Yeah, just my YouTube channel. If you want to, I do a bit of educational stuff, but I'm also doing obviously a lot of vlog kind of stuff. I want to show people the journey. I'm a little bit selfish. I also want to be able to look back on that in a few years and go, look at this guy, and he started at the beginning and now he's doing all right. So head to my YouTube channel, sharing videos every week. So Justin Wilkins on YouTube. Yeah, that's it. You'll find him there. But guys, thank you so much for tuning into the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.